we need to come together, you know, and put ourselves in accord with the Word of God, because the Word of God wants to see things take place in our life. And even though the Word of God has power, because they even expressed that when Jesus walked the earth and he said certain things, they said with power and authority, he commanded and things started taking place. Well, that's true. But the Word of God can be short circuited if everything is not connected the way it should be connected. You would express the Word of God, but it wouldn't have the effects that it would have like when it was spoken back during that time. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel within myself when I speak the Word of God, it has that FP&L power hooked up to it, and it will do whatever it says it should do. But now we have to come to the area of being real with ourselves. And a lot of times, our challenge is within ourselves. Our challenge. We don't see the generators producing all the power that it should produce because there's problems in the plant. And there's issues in the plant which causes the power to be short circuited and not be able to do what it says it would do. And then folks on the outside saying they ain't real. That company ain't real. They ain't doing nothing over there. There's nothing about them. They look like it, but they're not. All they got is a sign on the building representing something, but it's not what they are. Right now, I want you to incorporate in what I'm talking about of us going back over our history. You know, it's not just February. We need to be our we need to be history conscious throughout the entire year. Every day we need to be history conscious because if we are not, I feel we're going to slip back into a place where we don't need to be because history can destroy you if you don't examine it in its right context, or it can build you up, or it can there's certain things history can do to you, you know. Now, if it's taken in its right context, remember I said history has good, bad, and ugly in it, right? You need to know all the aspects of the good, the bad, and the ugly of history. If something is going to be done in this world that's going to make a mark, it's going to be the church. It's all in the Bible. The church is the thing that made a mark that couldn't be erased. It made a mark that moved us in areas. It made a mark even against the spiritual things that we couldn't see with our natural eye. It removed that. And so I don't want us to be the church that's hidden, or the church that doesn't have the power, or the church that couldn't do. Because I'm the I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And see, to some of us, that's a cliche. It's not a power. It's not a power in that word. I want you to understand that if something is broke, let's fix it. If something is broke, let's fix it. And the reason why I say if it's broke, let's fix it, because we want to operate in the power of who he says that we are, because Christ didn't die on a cross and rose again so that we can play church. It was so we could be the church. Now, in the Bible, if you will note sometimes, he will say, remember the former things of old, for I am God. So he'll tell you, remember, meaning go back in history and see what I had done so you'll be all right today. In the Bible, it talked about folks that were in a certain hard place in their life, and they had to think back on when God met them at another hard place, and so the hard place they were in didn't become a hard place. It became a place where we can overcome. Because they looked back on the history and they saw what God did then, he'll do the same thing now. We are a people that have a rich history. We got a rich heritage. We are some brilliant people. But I guarantee you that a lot of us don't believe that we are that rich and brilliant. Your wealth doesn't start out on the outside. It starts on the inside. It starts with a I can do. Not I can't do, I can do. And the I can't do is when you look at the wrong things that'll put a can't and it'll tell you you can't and it'll stop you from. But if you look at this thing in the right light, remove all of the canker and the obstacles that are in your face, get it out of the way so you can clearly see what was done for you and you can clearly see who you are in this arena, then you can move. And now that mine is don't move until you can. I said don't move until you can. It's crazy when you can't pay the rent where you are and you want to move into a higher neighborhood paying more rent. That's just insane. You got to be able to manage where you are before you can go someplace else. Let's learn from the mistakes that we made where we are. Let's correct the problem, and then let's make a confident move, knowing that I have the ability to do what I'm called to do. A lot of us don't know our history. A lot of us don't know our history. When you look at our history, we are some courageously powerful, strong individuals, very intelligent, all have the 5.0 average and above geniuses, but you may not know that. But if you don't know that, then if you can look back into your history and you can see it, it can stir up some things that's in you. Okay, now listen to this now. If I'm short on some things, if I got damaged, if I got hurt, if I got displaced or misplaced in my thinking, then there's someone I can go to that can rewire me, or where I can actually start functioning where I need to function and get that which was broken fixed. I'm talking about God now. Okay, let's get a little spiritual with it now. Let's use the natural and let's get a little. When we can't fix it in the natural, let's fix it in the spirit. Okay, so then God can fix whatever it is that's malfunctioning in you. Like we know that we had some things happen to us in the past with the history, the ugly parts that happened to us, which could call us to malfunction right now. But and also in our history, there's some good things that happen that we don't see. All we see is the ugly, and so we dismiss everything because of the ugly in the door. If ugly is standing in the door, you dismiss everything because I don't care what was good. I don't want to go behind the ugly to find the good because the ugly is ugly. And a lot of us dismiss everything about our history because we don't want to go past the ugly to get to that which was good. All right? That's why God designed us to be able to stand up to anything that comes to us, because the truth is of who you are is when you go past what you think you can't go past. Then that's when you find the truth. And if I were the devil, I'll put the ugly up in every interest way that will cause you to be successful. I'll put every ugly thing in front of you. And you will look around and won't open that door because you see everything is ugly around you. So then life becomes ugly. Life becomes ugly. Life almost becomes unbearable because I don't like where I'm living. I don't like where I'm at. I don't like what's going on with me. And I'm trapped in a world that I think I can't get out of. But I guarantee you, if you would muster up the faith to kick some of those ugly doors down, you will find beauty on the other side. All through the Bible, before you can get the promise, you have to go through the problem. That's all I'm saying. I just stretched it out a little bit to get you to see things in a different manner. There's always going to be a desert before you come into the promise. There's always going to be a wilderness before you come into the promise. It's always. Because God is not going to give you something that you didn't actually have to give up something.